Hello Market Club members everywhere. Adam Hewison here coming to you on a Friday from the digital studios of Market Club. Well, it's the 10th of the month, hard to believe, but let's take a look at some of the markets. And what we do on Fridays normally is to look at the weekly charts and to see how the markets are closing for the week. But first, let's take a look at the euro. Some bad news coming out of Germany today. The Bunds, lowest yield ever. Not a good sign. Trying to stimulate the economy there. It's not working. Not sure what they're going to do. I don't think they know what they want to do right now. But let's take a look at the euro just for the last almost year and a half. So we'll take a look and just see how we've been treading water really in terms of the market itself. You can see we've had just a kind of a no-go situation. Here's the euro. You can see quite clearly we're sort of stuck between the 115 and the 105 level. It's been that way kind of consistently, and every time we get up towards, let's say, the 114 level, it has problems and it bounces back down. But if you just take a quick look at today's action, we can see, let's just go to a close-up, like say a 3-month chart, and you can see this is the sharp downturn yesterday and also no follow-through today. So we're very close to the 50 line. If it goes below that, then we'll see further downside problems with this market. And if we look at our trade triangles, you can see we have a red daily indicating you should be out of this market period right now. So let's move on. We mentioned Starbucks in the update, and you can see Starbucks has really gone nowhere after making a highs right around the 63, 64 level, and it's sort of come back down and really hasn't done an awful lot of good things. And you can see we got way up there, 64, and we've sort of drifted down lower. So even that with that $1.2 billion in sort of Starbucks cards, they're still not doing anything. However, every time we've gotten down to this period here, and you can see quite clearly it's been a value play for this market. So I think maybe we're getting close to a bottom in that, but it's far too early to tell. We have a red monthly, not a good sign, and the momentum-wise short-term, it really is not good either. So let's see what is going to happen here. You should be on the sidelines in this market right now, so just give it some time. This is July gold. As you can see, we had a big spurt up, big pull up, a big pullback today, and our trade triangles are still very mixed on this. So you really should not be in this market, even though we got out of a short position here, had a super profit. It's really ran up and without any real cause in our opinion. So we should be on the sidelines. Next week promises to be a very interesting week, and I certainly think the 1280 level is going to be a very important level. We thought 1280 to 1290 would be some sort of resistance, and maybe that's where it's first coming in. So you should be on the sidelines here, so let's stay there for now, and we'll look at it next week. This is crude oil. We've had a nice pullback here in crude oil. It's probably an opportunity to be a buyer. We're getting close to our 50 line support. Watch the 3-day here. This is the short term. If it goes negative, you want to be out of the market, at least for the short term. But generally speaking, we still like the trend in this market, and we still think it's going to go higher to maybe the $60 level sometime later in the summer. So let's see how that plays out. Here's the Dow. You can see we had a daily kick in today. Not such an important thing, but the important thing to remember here is really where we're coming from. And this is what we've talked about all week, and that's the resistance level you're seeing here. And we sort of got up there and we sort of reversed back down. No follow through. So we may have to do a little more back and forth before we go through there, or we may just turn down. But what I want to look at is the weekly, how we're closing for the week now. In gold and crude oil, we're both closing higher, but in the equity markets, I am not so sure. So let's get close up in the weekly. So we go to weekly charts right here. And you can see we are high for the week. Last week closed at 17,807. We're 17,891. So it's very, very close. So I would say it's kind of a toss-up where we're going to close here. But I would not be surprised to see the market close lower today. So let's see how that plays out. Here's the NASDAQ on the weekly. Not looking good. You can see that's a Harami cross last week. And today we're closing lower. That will confirm a top, and you can see it's coming from an incredibly important place because these are the resistance levels we talked about right here. And look at how it stopped at dead. And I think if we close lower for the week, I could say I'm pretty confident in saying we put in a top, a double top here, and the key level is going to be all the way down here, potentially as a pivot point, and that is, you can see down here to up here, and that would be a pivot point. So let's see how that plays out. But generally speaking, you should be really careful in this market at the moment. This is the indices. This is the last indice we're going to look at, the S&P 500. Look at what we're doing on a weekly chart. Basically, possibly two Harami crosses, not a good sign, especially when we're coming from this resistance level we talked about. Again, we keep talking about this, but look, we just barely broke over, but no follow through. That's a very negative sign in my mind. If we close lower today, I think that would be also a very, very negative sign. Let me just take this off for a moment and take a look. Certainly if we were to close below 2085, we're quite a ways from there right now, but if we were to close below 2085, that would be a terrible close for this particular market. But it looks like we're seeing some distribution, certainly a battle between the bulls and the bears. Next week we should resolve this problem, but for now, just be careful. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to make a comment if you'd like to. We get some great comments from our members here. We'd hear from you and hear what you're thinking about the markets. So thanks for watching and have a great weekend, everyone.